We're speaking with Todd Graves, who has taken a single focus idea and parlayed it into a chain of almost 100 restaurants. Stay tuned for the next in our series of Leaders with Guts. Todd, can you talk a little bit about Raising Cane's involvement in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina and Rita?
Yeah, we were a young company then, and we had 28 restaurants at the time, and 21 of those restaurants after Hurricane Katrina came through were closed down in those areas. And for a young growing company that was growing on cash flow and leverage, we had an economic problem, and it was a very emotional time because, you know, in our backyard we're seeing how our communities were literally flooded and pretty much destroyed at that time, and it affected all of our crew members one way or the other. And what we did is the only thing we knew how to do is bring our team together and say, hey, you know, here's where we're at with the business. We need to open up for our communities, and we need to open up to have a great place for our crew to come back in and work. And that was what our charge and our mission was, and we took it seriously and we got after it. You know, we had opened up 2 weeks after the storm. We had opened up 8 restaurants out of a total of, I think, 30 total restaurants out of a total of 3,400 total restaurants in the New Orleans area after the storm. And Raising Cane's had 8 of those restaurants that had reopened, and we reopened to unbelievable volumes. There wasn't places to eat for people when they came back into town. We started off feeding first responders, and then when people came back in their communities, obviously they couldn't cook in their kitchens. There were no grocery stores. There were none of those things that you normally were used to. So they came to Raising Cane's to get a little sense of normalcy and then to get some nutrition. Customers in our communities really resonated with how hard our crew was working, and all of us were putting towards that. And it was a really special time during a very, very tough time. You know, we were able to reopen. We were able to and help our communities reopen. And actually, Raising Cane's was one of the first new businesses that not only reopened in the area. We actually opened the first new business in Greater New Orleans in Marrero. That's on the West Bank of New Orleans, and it was a restaurant that was Raising Cane's. We were the first to reopen after the storm.
Because of the devastation to New Orleans, a lot of people moved permanently to Baton Rouge. So that actually helped your business, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it's kind of more of a wash. You know, after we were closed down, 20 of those restaurants were closed down. You know, cash flow immediately stopped, and it took a period of time to reopen those restaurants. And after we reopened those restaurants, our volumes were very, very high, and that balanced off the losses we had from before. But population shift, you know, it was we had New Orleans restaurants that did less volume after people settled in Baton Rouge and other areas, when those restaurants did higher. So all in all, I think it's a wash, which was actually a testament to my crew, because most businesses had a very big loss, and the piece of businesses that couldn't handle it, a lot of the mom and pop restaurants, they're very special. The New Orleans area were never able to recover from that. You
know, this year you're more than likely going to hit almost 100 restaurants, very close to it. What has been the toughest part of growing your chain?
For me, the toughest part of growing Raising Cane's, and I'd have to say that for the organization because I'm the organization's fearless leader, is scaling myself. You know, I'm a founder entrepreneur from the most traditional sense. You know, this is my baby, and I've looked at every detail from the inception of this company. So a lot of entrepreneurs don't scale, and the challenge for me is learning at every step of the way on how I need to become more of a professional manager with all of my entrepreneurial passion that's still involved in the culture of Raising Cane's. But how do I grow? Because I can't touch everything now, and each step of the way is how do I become more of a leader than a doer? And that's been the challenge for me, but it's been an interesting challenge, and there's been a lot of strength in it, but it's also been a lot of learnings and frustrations that I think my team has had to overcome in growing with a traditional founder.
How would you describe the culture at Raising Cane's?
You know, Raising Cane's culture is what I believe sets us apart. You know, anybody can do anybody else's menu product. You know, I could go out and copy anybody's, learn their business, and open up a restaurant similar to theirs, but you can't copy passion, people, and most importantly, you can't copy culture. And I think as we've grown, the company, we've done a good job of keeping what the essence of our culture is together. And what that is we work hard and we have fun. And that's not just a buzzword you hear from other companies. Our crew members would describe our culture as cool. That's the way they describe it. And so you say, hey, what's our culture? Some of them say, hey, what do you mean culture? What is it like working here? What do you like about Raising Cane's? They say, well, because it's cool. And what does that mean? Well, it means a lot of things to them. It's a cool place to work. We have a cool history. It's cool what we do in the community, those sorts of things. And so as we've grown, we've really taken, the challenges, how do you keep that culture as you grow bigger? And I think one of the main things is that our corporate offices are restaurant support offices. We support the restaurants. Everybody's title ends with fry cook and cashier because that's what I do. I'm a fry cook and cashier. I love working drive-thrus. I love frying chicken. I love cleaning tables. That's the business I love. And so whether you're either hired into Raising Cane's to do accounting, you get trained in the restaurants, you go back into the restaurants quite often and work in the restaurants to keep that connection with the restaurants because you might be accountant, but you're also a fry cook and cashier at Raising Cane's.
And your concept relies primarily on serving great chicken fingers. So they have to be fantastic. How do you work with your supplier, Tyson, to make sure that the quality is always top-notch?
We have a very tight spec, and it's a premium quality chicken finger, which is actually the chicken tenderloin of the chicken. So we go from a 1.5 to a 1.6 pound bird, and that's how tight our spec is. We constantly work with Tyson and our other poultry providers to make sure that that spec stays right and tight. We can't charge by the pound, we charge by the piece, and it's very expensive chicken tenderloin, so we have to make sure that we get that 1.5 to 1.6 ounce tender that we can deliver to our customer, and we can always get it fresh, and we can marinate it fresh within 24 hours to deliver that high quality product.
And do you work with some of their research and development people?
We work with research and development on new ways to deliver better quality chicken fingers. So for example, we're working with Tyson now on better ways to marinate. We marinate in-house in all our restaurants now. So is there a way we can marinate at the Tyson facilities to where we get our chicken already marinated? We work with them constantly on different ways to source new bird and to give a good different supply for us now that we're in 14 states across the country.
So you really have a partnership.
We have to have a partnership with our vendors, and we talked about the hurricane. After the hurricane, all of the food distributors were shut down in South Louisiana, and Tyson delivered chicken directly to our office so we could distribute the chicken ourselves.
Can you share some of your plans for Raising Cane's in the next 5 years?
We are currently working on our long-term growth strategy, so I don't really have exactly what our plans are for the next 5 years. We have the last 13 years grown and tested and really gone off that entrepreneurial passion. And what the next step of our business is to strategically look at how can we grow faster but keep the quality restaurants and the quality people we have. And I believe we have the team now to really be able to do that and put the financing plan together to really do growth in a quicker manner than we have here currently, to keep that quality up. Part of our strategic planning is we went and saw restaurant owners, restaurant CEOs, and groups of different restaurant companies that we respect, like Panda Express. We went and saw the team at Panda Express that I believe is a great company, has great values, has great quality, but how did they grow? They started growing restaurants at a faster rate. We went and saw the people with Chipotle, Jimmy John's, and talked to all the people that we respected that also had a lot of entrepreneurial roots, but how did you scale and start growing restaurants more rapidly but kept your quality and your culture?
And it's amazing how generous they are with the competition, with their information, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. I mean,
wow.
It's about the industry as a whole for them, and it's about making our industry even better and taking care of our crew. So they're open with all their information.
We've been talking with Todd Graves, CEO of Raising Cane's. Check out the next part of this series as we explore what it takes to be a leader with guts. For Food Channel Pro, I'm Ellen Codiff.